hypnosis?
Actually, not. Everybody thinks that. I've never done hypnosis, so I don't really wouldn't even know how to do it. But I can say that we do have two parts of the brain. We have our innate wisdom that's wise, and we have our ego brain that is filled with limitations. So when we are working in the energy world, we are getting rid of all resistance and allowing all possibilities to come in. So I guess that is more like a meditative state. You guys know just before you fall asleep, that sweet zone, but you could go either way. That's the state that you're in when I'm doing the work, and that's the state I'm in when I'm not in front of people trying to, telecast what I'm actually doing so you can appreciate it. But we become sort of like one, and it's almost like you don't know where your arm is anymore. It doesn't really matter. And so that's kind of what it is. Does that answer that a little bit for you?
Do you have some people that are so strong they overpower you?
That's a fabulous question. It is impossible not to have results because it's the actual opposite of power. Somebody can, I'll give you an example. I'll give you a real great example. Because my client, if they're here, they already believe. My father, right? My father, who does not believe in any of this. He is absolutely a man of his times. Just honors what I'm doing, but I can't believe you gave up the catering business. It was so successful. What were you thinking? And I'm like, it's okay, Dad, I love you. Anyway, he came to visit. He lives in Florida and Delaware, does that, winter thing. And he is a super tennis player. And he came in, and his shoulder, he was going to go get his rotocusp operated on. And I put my hands on him, and I went, and he didn't tell me, of course, because we have a thing going that if ever I beat him in tennis, he won't play anymore. So he is not going to let me know he hurt his shoulder. So here I am. I go up to him, Dad, it's great to see. What is going on with your shoulder? How do you know? Well, because I can feel it. And I said, come in the other room. And I put him in the healing room, and I lay him on the table, telling you, this is just, a man that's lived a normal life. And I worked on him. And he was like, do I have to take my clothes off? No, you don't take your clothes off. Just lay down. No, please. I'm going to tap you out. And I did what I did and explained to him what I needed to explain, didn't what I didn't. He said, I don't know what you did, but that was really relaxing. Thank you. Gosh, I need that every day. I don't know how to relax. Okay. 2 days later, he said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm like, oh, what happened? He goes, it doesn't hurt anymore. He did everything he could to find that pain. I'm like, oh, my God. He was trying to find that pain. He couldn't find it. So now he's always calling me saying, when you come to visit, would you work on my friend? And I'm like, okay. And, and so I'm like, well, how do you describe what I do, Dad? And he goes, you do alternative medicine. You're like a doctor. I'm like, no, I'm not a doctor, Dad. Please do not call me a doctor. So the answer is, it's really hard to describe what is something that we only experience on a non-wide awake ego trying to figure it out level. So I always get the husbands of great resistance that come on the table that don't really want to be there, but the wife said, please, I don't want you to have to stay on your meds anymore. Your blood pressure's too high. And then they go, I don't get what you did. I didn't really feel anything. They come back a couple days later. Oh, my God, my blood pressure's down. But I didn't feel anything on your table. I just felt relaxed. So in that sense, they thought they were winning over on me, but it's not really anything I'm doing. I'm really just being the vehicle to let your inner self talk to your outer self. So it's pretty harmless in that way. The gift about this is that you cannot hurt yourself. 4 minutes left, so go right ahead.
A quick question. Obviously, you're an intuitive healer.
Yes.
Now, is that something that was natural to you, or is that something you developed?
Good question. I naturally have been intuitive all my life. That's just been my compensation for having left brain challenges, because in school nowadays we have labels, ADD, ADHD, auto processing disorder, dyslexia. I had all those, so I had to compensate. So I developed my right brain. Didn't know what to call it or what to do with it. So then, as I started doing this work with my own intuition, I found a protocol, BodyTalk, that actually is left and right brain. So there are oodles of practitioners that have never used their right brain in their life that are really good energy practitioners because they have learned to develop that. In fact, I definitely would take any person that comes to see me. Part of the byproduct is that I help them tap into their intuition and get more intuitive, because we all have it. It's just a muscle. We don't know how to access it. We think we're making it up. We think it's pretend. We don't even know where to go with it. We don't even know how to try. So part of what the gift of having energy work done, besides fixing the elbow or the stress level or the blood or whatever, is to have the intuition develop more. Good question. Yeah.
I've had a lot of acupuncture work done, almost a decade's worth.
Excellent.
And from your experience as a healing touch practitioner and a lot of patient base, what is the difference between the energy work that an acupuncturist does and the energy work that you perform within your parameter of BodyTalk?
Yeah, great question, because I have acupuncture done 4 times a year just for the heck of it. And I've had oodles. Yeah, I've had oodles of acupuncture. Acupuncture works on the meridian system, and of course I work through the meridian system. It's terrific. It incorporates consciousness, emotions, past lives, DNA, so it goes deeper.
It meaning BodyTalk.
Meaning the energy work that I do that incorporates BodyTalk. That is correct.
Versus the acupuncture.
Versus acupuncture.
What you just described, you're describing BodyTalk.
That's right. In other words, when I go to an acupuncturist and they tell me my liver meridian needs a little more fire in it, they're going to do that. When I work on putting fire into the liver meridian, I'm going to tell you what planet's going to help and why it happened, what emotion that the anger of the liver has prevented you from being reorganized on your next job because it's out of balance. And I have probably 30 seconds left, but I'll talk really fast. I can talk really fast. Every organ and every part of your body has a consciousness. So, for example, the consciousness of an unhappy spleen is anxiety. The consciousness of a happy spleen is getting rid of the old. The consciousness of our heart can be sadness, but it can also be centeredness, balance, and wisdom. Our consciousness of our liver is anger. Sometimes we need to be angry. It saves our life, but there's pathological anger, so it's in balance. There's never anything that we need to get rid of in ourselves. We just need to bring it back in balance, even with relationships. And the other thing that the work I do is I work with you in relationship with other people. So I work with you with the whole staff at work so that your work environment is better, because you're having an energy relationship with people at home or at work. Even when you're not with them, it's still affecting you and them. So I think I need to wrap it up, right? Okay. Thanks. I'm going to be doing 20-minute mini sessions on a table. I won't make anyone fall down. For just $20. I'm over at the booth. Please come visit me. And I'm in Greensboro and in Winston every other week for one day. Thanks, everyone.